Yo, guys, welcome to another episode of the one and only podcast. Today, we're going to be talking about the basketball season so far. And I'm joined with Asamoah or Josh and another Josh. So that's why we call him Asamoah. I'm your host, Bradley. And if you'd like to quickly introduce yourselves, Asamoah.
Yeah, that's more. I don't really support a basketball team. I just literally just watch basketball for the fun of it. But if I was to watch, if there's one team that I would watch, I'd watch the Lakers.
That's a good point. Before we carry on, we're casual basketball fans, so just don't take anything we take too seriously. Um,
Oh,
but Josh, what are you saying?
yeah, I'm Josh. Similar to these two as well. I'm not really a very hardcore fan, but if I was to support a team, it'd probably be the Lakers as well. Exciting basketball.
Glory hunters. Obviously, me, if I had to choose a team, it's the Mavs. My boy Luca runs the thing. But I guess we'll start off with the season so far. If you had to make a starting five, who's going in?
Of the season so far.
Yeah. So this season, COVID, everything. We'll put them in the actual positions as well. So point guard, shooting guard, so on and so forth. Uh, I don't know. I say we just start listing some names and then we'll round off. Obviously, LeBron's got to go in there, so
Yeah, of
I'm
course.
pretty sure
I
he's.
want I want Bill in there. I want Bradley Bill.
Bradley Beal. Yeah. What about even Steph Curry? He dropped 62 career high.
Yeah, but the thing that with Steph Curry, and also I think why they're gonna make the playoffs is the guy is just still to this he's still unguardable. Whereas Giannis, even though he does have crazy value, just in playoffs and the way teams play, it's just Giannis's worst nightmare because there are ways that they can stop him. Whereas Steph Curry, you saw, I don't know if you saw the clip of him getting triple team. Like, there's what can you do
Yeah.
against this guy?
He needs to learn how to shoot
Um,
threes. Cause if he does that, I feel like
The
adds more.
Yannick.
Yeah, Giannis.
See,
If he shoots
yesterday
threes,
he breezes past his defenders though. He's
yeah,
actually
he's
too
so good.
powerful. But KD's a shout. I'm putting him in there.
Yeah, yeah.
Center. I know who you're gonna say for center, Josh, but I'm saying Jokic. You're gonna say Embiid, but I'm saying Jokic.
the thing is between they're two very very different players, and I think how Jokic plays is very adapted to the NBA right now, like positionless basketball. But I just the way Embiid has been playing, and it's just he can do. He's a bit of like an AD in the sense that he can do a bit of everything. He can shoot the ball. He can get in the paint. He's just I don't know. It's the way he plays is exciting. That's I think the most important thing in basketball. At least he plays exciting basketball, and he's like putting up the numbers as well, and doing.
If you look around his team, like you got Ben Simmons, like you got a decent team around him now. So Seth Curry. So
Yeah, it's just because they're lacking the perimeter shooting they need, and that's why they brought in guys like Steph Curry and other bits and pieces. But I think it's kind of it's what it's been over the last couple of years. Whereas if Ben Simmons finally starts to shoot the ball, that's when
Mm.
we're going to see some success. Because that's why I was thinking a trade for James Harden with Ben Simmons would be a good idea because then you actually have like an elite outside perimeter threat. But then you've got Embiid and Harden in the pick and roll. That would be
Mm. But the thing
disgusting.
is, sorry to cut you off, but would Embiid give up the ball? Would you think clutch situation? You need a point, like you need 2 points, or actually 3 points. Let's say 3 points. So it's outside. Would Embiid pass the ball to Harden, or would he want to take the shot?
Yeah, I don't think Embiid is definitely not like in the sense as a Kyrie. I think Embiid is much more of a team player, and I think even though you've got, it would be difficult to say whose team it would be, but I feel like in a clutch situation, there could be plays drawn up for either of them, and I think they'd be cool with it. The only issue is Harden can be quite a
Mm.
drama queen, so it's like, will he be, even if it is a better look for Embiid, will he give up the ball for him? But I feel like if it was Embiid and giving the ball for Harden, I think there'd be no problem at all.
um, with that, like we got, so I'm pretty sure the only two centers we're considering at the moment is Embiid and Jokic. So Jokic,
Yeah.
if you're looking at that Nuggets team, Jamal Murray in the playoffs last season, one of the best players, but then in this like sort of season, he hasn't really been recreating that form. So if he starts to put up the numbers he was putting up last year, I think you'll start to see the increase in numbers for the wins in the Nuggets. So
Yeah,
looking at the 76ers, they're like got one of the best, they're first or second in the standings at the moment. So I can see why Embiid probably this season you'd say Embiid. So
The thing with Jamal Murray though is he has like he's always shown what he did in the playoffs. He's always shown that he was capable of doing that, but it's just he never really. It's the consistency. The thing is, to be fair, you got to give him credit because he shows up when it matters most in the playoffs, and how they came back from that 3-1 deficit twice, which is I don't think it ever happened before that. So, in all fairness, he does show up. It's just more. I mean, maybe save himself again for the playoffs or whatever. And it was kind of similar with
so many
Jokic.
players do that though. Like they don't go as hard in the regular season.
so they can save himself for
Yeah,
the
like
postseason.
the Clippers last year, Kawhi and Paul George, you could see that they weren't like they were getting rested lots of games. They were trying to save themselves for the season. So
But then the thing is that they were like saving themselves and all that. And then when it came to the playoffs, they crumbled. That's the worst. That's the biggest thing
Playoff P.
to separate between. Yeah, exactly. I think that's the biggest thing that will separate the Nets and Lakers right now. It's that chemistry and also that heart. Because that's why Miami made it all the way to the finals last year because they had that heart that no one else had. So
and they
I
got
think
here a bucket.
Tyler Hero is
it's gonna be good.
a butt craze.
He's cold. But so let's just.
I'm with Bradley. I'm with Bradley more with Jokic, but I feel like obviously I just want to put a name out there. You know, Carl Anthony Towns.
Nah,
You don't think?
no, I don't think.
I'm just saying I'll go with Jokic, but I feel like Anthony Towns is a good.
He's got that potential, but I don't think he's ever gone that next level that he can.
He's
I
getting
think
there.
he needs to go to a better team. I think if he goes to a better team, he will
just they ain't it.
No other big can shoot the ball as well as he does. He's such a good 3-point shooter, but he just is the same thing as.
What about Kuzma? Did you say that he's a big man?
He usually plays 4, but
yeah, the 3 or the 4. But even then, you know, he's not. Yeah, he's not a big. No, he's not. He's. I don't. The thing is,
he's not a big man.
Team. Like, he's
not that
team,
level. This guy.
Okay. Kuzma's wet from free. Like Kuzma's like
he always gets memed on Insta. That's how you know he's not there. But we'll go through the starting 5. So the one we have in Steph.
Yeah.
Are we doing positionless or are we doing like
positions? We'll do positions.
Okay, yeah, it's probably so. Yeah, definitely Steph. No, I don't. Yeah, he's been the best point guard for years.
At the 2, we going with Bradley Beal then.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually know what Bradley was saying about Jaylen Brown because he's having
he makes them Jaylen Brown and JT. Forgot about them.
He makes jumps every season. At the moment, Jaylen Brown's playing out of his mind and he's shooting. So
you had to. If you're building a Celtics team, you can only have one of the stars. Are you taking Jaylen Brown or Jason Tatum?
Nah, Tatum.
No, but I don't think you've been. Jaylen Brown's consistent as well. You know.
That's the thing. Whereas the thing is, Jason Tatum's taken up. The thing is, I think Tatum has a much higher ceiling than Jaylen Brown, but the rate at which they're improving at the moment, like Jaylen Brown can be the better player in like 1 or 2 years. But the thing is, Tatum still has that potential to be way better.
I think Tatum, he wants to be that star. Like he's always the one that wants to take that last shot. Like even he'll take the hard shot over defender rather than.
Yeah, exactly. His shots are just too. His shot selection sometimes is just off, and it's just an inefficient shot. Like he got better at like choosing better shots instead of shooting those long 2s. But like the thing is, he has like the footwork. He has like the Kobe footwork and stuff. Things like that. He just.
So if we're picking between, we got to look at the records as well. Like the Wizards, they're having a dreadful season. Like even with Westbrook and Bradley Beal, they're not like at the top. But compare it to the Celtics, when you got Jaylen Brown, him and Tatum are carrying their teams to a higher standard. So
no, but the thing with the Wizards is that they're outscoring all the teams right I don't think. I think they are. I'll check in a second, but I'm pretty sure they're like top in terms of just pure offensive points scored in a game.
defense is
The
non-existent.
defense is that they have no defense.
No defense. Just let players just walk through, just like easy buckets.
He's well, another shooting guard, my boy Luka. Although this season, I wouldn't say he's been the best shooting guard, but in terms of like last couple of seasons, I put them. But obviously, I'm not gonna say him for there, but I just had to shout that one out. So who we going with for the shooting guard then?
I'm still going with Bradley Beal because I can't believe he dropped 60 and they still lost. I feel like he deserves something. He deserves something.
I don't. I think if you're just looking best player, yeah, I think Bradley Beal. But actually, I don't even know then because Jaylen Brown is a much better defensive player, and he hasn't obviously matched him in terms of output, but his usage isn't the same either. He's taken way less shots, so I don't know. Actually, I think I might go with Jaylen Brown and that over Bradley Beal. I don't know.
I mean, it's up to you.
Celtics are doing well, you know. So 60 points, and then he dropped 40 something the next game. So I'm just gonna have to go with Bradley Beal because I just like offensive players. So yeah, I'll go.
Yeah, it makes basketball more interesting. Like I feel like you come to basketball to see like good offense, not really like good defense.
No, but that's
last year though in the playoffs that blocked by Bama and JT.
Exactly. No, they're having the defense is just as important as offense in my mind.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying it's important, but I feel like if you're going to watch a basketball like match, you're going like you want to see good you want to see good plays on offense. Good defense is good sometimes, obviously, but like you go there to see baskets getting like scored.
No, you want to okay. At least to me, then I want to see a player get clamped up all night because he's struggling or getting.
I want to see a player on a hot streak.
I want to see it on both ends. I think both ends is just as impressive. But then, okay, small forward. So you guys take it. I think it can.
Obvious who's going there.
I mean,
it's either LeBron.
To be LeBron.
I'm putting LeBron at 3 and KD
at 4. Yeah. That's what I was gonna say.
And the 4. Actually, no, we didn't speak about him, but if a shooting guard actually Paul George, even though disrespected, Paul George's been playing so well at the moment.
I'm not having it.
He's not over KD.
No, that's the last player. No, that's the last person. We're talking about this season right now. Currently, this season, he's playing so well at the moment. He's shooting so well from 3. I think he's shooting. Actually, I saw a stat earlier today. He's shooting better from 3 than he is on long range 2s. Like he's playing really, really well at the moment. It's just
same with Bradley Beal. Paul George. He's just traumatized me that last year that you had. Like, he's not going in there for me.
But that was appalling. I can't lie.
So far we got Steph, Bradley Beal, and LeBron. Right? Everyone's calm with LeBron.
Yeah, of course.
At the 4, you could say Giannis, but I'm going KD.
Yeah.
Like
KD, I feel like KD. Even KD, but we haven't even mentioned AD yet.
But that's what he said, AD as well.
Yeah. But I feel like
I just love the way that KD plays though. Like
it's that little the little hezzy that he does.
He's got no respect for anyone. This guy will shoot over anyone's face.
Yeah. You see the block that he did. He blocked him and then he looked at him like the stare down.
AD, yeah. No, he's talking about KD then. No, his left hezzy, that little pull up hezzy that he does. And it's just as Bradley saying, it's like unstoppable. You can't, if you're not like Giannis, it's so hard to try and contain him because he's
the fours are like probably one of the most stacked positions. Those 3, they'd get into any team pretty much in the league. So
and Kawhi as well and other people.
I'll play Kawhi at the 3. Anything.
No, you would, No, also I was saying for small forward, I think.
Small. Are we agreeing on KD then?
Yeah, KD at the 4, and then LeBron at the 3. Okay, yeah.
At the 5, we went with
Jokic.
I'm putting Embiid there.
You put some Jokic, and I went with Jokic as well.
So that's our starting 5. Okay, next we'll go into the big drama at the moment. The James Harden saga. We touched on it a little if he went to the 76ers, but obviously he went to the Nets. It's meant like a lots of implications for other teams. But we'll start off with what it means for the Nets because that's who he's went to, obviously. So, how do you think the Nets will do this season? Will it benefit? What will it do for their chemistry? So on.
I mean, though I think they finessed the Rockets finessed the Nets because they've got now, I think it was 4 first round picks and 4 swaps, and the Nets now don't own any picks until I think it's 2028, and they've got aging superstars as well. I think Kyrie's 28, 29, KD's 30, is early 30s, and so is James Harden. So, in all honesty, I think even this is a more of a championship or bust year, even more so than last year's Clippers as well. I feel like the Clippers twins could have ran it back with the same team because they were so deep last year, and just tried to fix some of those chemistry issues. But this team at the moment are easily best offensive team in the league. You've got Harden, who has like dropped I think 30 points per game in a season for like the last 2-3 seasons. You've got KD. We all know what KD's capable of, and then Kyrie as well. He's like borderline superstar and just so
I'll say
talented.
he's a superstar. I'm saying he's up there.
Yeah, he's
You
all
can't-
star. He's made all stars like many times. I feel like he's
But for superstar, like he didn't take the Celtics to to the level that they should have been if he was a superstar. He didn't play it as well as he should have with the Celtics. So I think the only thing that will hold him back is chemistry issues, which is the same thing for the Clippers. They have more than enough talent. Their bench is a bit like
And they still got Dinwiddie, who's injured. So I don't know. Maybe if they try and speed up his recovery for the finals, they have a team there.
maybe even coming back though, I think he'll still be quite rushed because everyone else will be in a rhythm from playing in the regular season and stuff. And I feel like I don't think there'll be much point bringing him back if it's just for like the last maybe 3, 4, 2 or 3 series. But definitely having it's like I don't know.
Them losing Jarrett Allen, I think he's a solid
Yeah.
center for them. Like that was a big loss. And I
No,
think
he's a
he'll like sort of go under the radar. Karis LeVert as well. That's also a big loss. So it's not like they didn't lose anything. They lost a lot, but James Harden could like if they don't win a championship in the next 1 or 2 years, then that trade will.
I think it's just this season, to be honest. I think it's this season.
I think, to be honest, I'm not sure like what's gonna happen. But do you guys think that Curry will stay, or do you think he's gonna like leave? Because I know you said he got fines, he got like he's getting in trouble for missing games, but I still feel like he wants to force a trade. He doesn't want to stay at the Nets. Like,
Well,
They'll give it a while to like try and gel, and then if it doesn't work, then maybe in the future, later on in the season, they'll make a trade. But I don't know.
wait, would you, if you were the Nets, would you have traded for James Harden?
Well, it was a sort of James Harden forced his way out, like, and probably there was hardly any other destination. So maybe they made some agreement that we don't know about, like behind the scenes. But yeah,
Now, if you were the Nets, though, would you have made that trade? Do you think if you was in charge, like with the team that you had, would you have given up those picks and everything else?
it depends what the Nets are looking for, though. If I'm in charge of the Nets, I'm looking for that short-term success. I want this win right now, so I would have taken it. So
I wouldn't, because it's gonna take them so long to like after they all like move on, all their like superstars move on. It's gonna take them too long to rebuild. Like I think it was like
you never know with basketball. Like they could get some, like next season they can make a trade that just reverses all of it. So,
but with what picks though? As in they have no picks.
Yeah, they've got no leverage
They
now.
got no, yeah, as in like they have nothing to entice anyone to come to their franchise.
I think we just have to wait and see what happens for the rest of the season. But yeah, moving on from the Nets, what about the Rockets? Do you think the Rockets have benefited from this?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Nice little team now. You got Christian Wood, he's playing like quite
That little clip of LeBron saying like he's dangerous or something like.
Yeah. Yeah, he's honestly like easily all-star level right now. You got him, DeMarcus Cousins. If he can stay in the game for more than 2 seconds and not get ejected, that would be a
Guy's a
pass.
joke, man. Just starts trying to beef anyone.
Anyway, yeah, he's just so aggressive, like in the wrong ways.
You got Oladipo now. That's a
Do you think that they're making playoffs this season? I don't
should. You don't think they are?
know.
Yes.
Rockets, yeah, Rockets, yeah, Rockets.
No,
But I
I
don't think
think
they're
you
making
got
playoffs.
John Wall. John Wall is another. Like I think he'll be the leader now that James Harden.
yeah.
Like he doesn't have anything in the back of his mind. Like so, I think
But think about how already like the Western Conference is so much like is so good. Like, do you really think that
Not so
about
much though after thingy moving though. It's a bit it's become a lot more even than it has
yeah,
in a
yeah,
way.
but it's still not like the Western is still better than the Eastern Conference, as in like it's a harder
I
conference.
think
Do you
that's
think that?
debatable now though.
You think
Yeah.
in
as
East,
in
remember you got Celtics, you
you
got
got
Bucks, you got.
Yeah, you got them
Nets,
on the other side.
I don't
Nets,
think Raptors will make finals this year. They
you got
definitely should.
76ers.
No, they're falling apart at the moment, the Raptors. They're struggling a lot.
They've got Zach Levine's doing well.
Um,
But it's like the same thing, the same similar kind of situation that Bradley Beal's in. It's the fact that he's putting up like big numbers, but on a team that's quite empty and not doing too well. Because in the East, you've got, as Barry saying, Celtics, Bucks, the 76ers, Pacers now with Karis LeVert as well. You've got the Nets,
yeah, they're
Italy,
doing well.
Heat,
I think the
you've got
Pacers have benefited from this little saga. Because they lost Oladipo, but they gained Karis LeVert. So
Nah, Levert he can like score so well. I think he can be a really, really good sixth man, or even in a team that's kind of half built around him, become like a good all-star. He has the potential to probably reach that. But it's just I think he would obviously get the minutes because he was playing with KD and Kyrie. But now I think and he's got like a good little center and Miles Turner and other people like that. I think he has a much kind of better chance to grow and stuff, which I think is good for him.
Mm.
all right, cool. We'll leave that little transfer saga for now. We're going to the rookie and the MVP of the season so far. We'll start with the rookies. Why not? For me, it's got to be Melo. Like this guy's
Yeah,
balling, but
he needs to learn
because
how to shoot.
playing for who you playing for?
Hornets, Melo.
Because he's playing
Hornets.
for the Hornets. Like he's basically their star player already. Like there's
Mm.
a couple of others, but he's basically their star. So he's probably been given the freedom, even though he comes off the bench most games. He's been given the freedom to just play like a rookie. But whereas others like say James Wiseman, he's in much more of a structured team. So at the moment, so he's not like being given the freedom to just do what he wants when he's got Steph Curry, who's the leader. Everyone looks to him for that last shot, whatever. So
To be honest, James White, some of the one or two of the games that I did manage to see, he's been looking like he's been in the league for years. Like he's been playing. Yeah, he just plays with like the maturity of someone who's already been in the league. But I think you guys are right in terms of Lamelo. Only issue with him is that the team that he's on, he's like a pass first kind of point guard, and what he really needs is to have some good shooters spread around him to kind of kick out to, and have a bit more. Yeah, he's not.
He's just he's a pure point guard, as in like
Yeah,
it's more of a playmaker than like
yeah,
a
exactly.
Steph Curry point guard
he,
shooter.
he's the youngest person in the NBA to get a triple double. So that goes for him in.
Even I'm surprised because there was stats, as in like he's a point guard, but he gets more rebounds than like some centers do. As in, I think in an interview he said that he played like a lot of 21s or something, and that's why he's so good at getting rebounds. But I feel like he is like if you look at the stats for all rookies, I think he leads the stats for rookies in like I think it's in points, in rebounds and assists. Like he's having like coming off the bench as well. I think he's having like an amazing start to the NBA. Like
I mean, you got to remember like stats don't show everything. As you look
yeah,
at what's
I know.
Draymond Green, he just does the things that just don't show up on the stat sheet, and his defensive impact is just like ridiculous. and how well he's able. It's like having a second coach on the floor in the middle of the
Yeah,
game.
like I'm saying, like
His
speaking
IQ is just ridiculous.
of like Draymond, like I think that will benefit James Wiseman so much. You can see
Yeah, having a mentor.
Someone to
like
talk to. Yeah.
he's basically coaching him. This is what's gonna happen. You do this. Like I think in your rookie year, it's important to have someone like that to like
Mm.
mentor you into it. But I don't think LaMelo sort of has that. But in terms of, but LaMelo obviously he's got a family of basketball, so I don't think he'll.
And plus, he's got Michael Jordan as well. I think he has stakes in the Hornets. That's his hometown.
So
Michael Jordan owns the Hornets.
Yeah, yeah. As in that, so
who
he's
you
got
saying,
him to look.
who you saying as that rookie Melo?
Yeah, yeah.
Anthony Edwards has been playing really well though as well. He's got all the tools to be a superstar as well. He's good scorer, he's explosive, he can play defense, like he has all the tools, but
Some of the like clips I've seen though, you
with
can
his
tell
attitude.
his rookie mindset. Like
Yeah.
the clip I saw, I think they needed a 2 to go OT or something, but he wanted to get the 3, so he was about to lay it up, but then he threw it out, and then it got turned over. So
He could. I just hope he doesn't. He's not going to be like an Andrew Wiggins in the sense that Andrew Wiggins came in, people saying he can be the next Kobe, super talented, easily going to be a top 5 player, and then he just didn't work hard enough. And even though if that's the thing, even if you have the talent, it just shows players like Jimmy Butler who aren't super talented but who just grind and work at their craft much, and then that's how they become dropping a 40-point triple double in the finals when you're not even in the favorites to win. Like I think that's when it shows hard work really actually kind of pulls you through.
I think he played like he that whole the game that you're talking about where he played. I think he's only off the pitch for like the court, sorry, for like 1 minute. He played like the whole game.
Yeah.
Like resting's only at like halftime, like timeouts, everything. Like he just works so hard. So like hard work goes a long way. As in, I feel like you can be very talented, but if you don't work hard, then you can just like fall off.
No, he gave every like to get them there in the first place. He gave everything, and he's not having a great season at all at the moment so far.
Yeah,
But
he hasn't been playing that much from what
yeah, I think he had like a small injury or something that he picked up. But I think come playoff time, he's just someone that works hard and he's shown up. The thing as well on every other team that he's played on in the finals. Like he's the guy that you can kind of rely on the clutch to get you some buckets. So I think to be honest, come again.
I think they'll make playoffs. Because as we're talking about, the East's got hard this year.
I don't know.
I think 8 places.
I think they'll make playoffs, but in terms of playoff success, I don't know.
They'll probably come like 8th or 7th, and then they'll get knocked out first rounds to like the first or second.
I don't know. The thing is though, they showed like it's just they have heart, and it's just something. It's not something not many teams have. So that mental kind of willpower, but yeah, because you've got Celtics, you've got Bucks, you've got Sixers, you've got Nets. Those are kind of all guarantees, and then you've got I don't know, you've got Pacers as well.
Yeah, even I know they're probably not going to make it, but the Cavaliers this season they started off really well, and then I don't know what happened. They just
Sexton's been injured though for a while. He hasn't been playing, so I think that's been a big loss for them.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess we'll leave those few sort of names in the hat for now. We'll go to the MVP of the season so far. Who we
I know
say?
Josh is. I know Josh is.
Mine.
Yeah.
Probably I don't know. It'll probably either be Embiid or LeBron. One of those two.
Me, you just can't look past LeBron. Like this guy just keeps doing it consistently. Like
Yeah, I feel like LeBron. He's actually like for someone he's 36. He plays like he's in his prime. Like
Yeah. But the thing is, I feel like it's sometimes like the reason why I feel like Giannis deserved it over LeBron last year is because it's most valuable. And if you look at like a team, whereas LeBron, he's got another superstar right next to him, Anthony Davis, but then they also got such a deep team. They've got a starting five coming up off their bench. They've got Montrezl Harrell, they've got Gasol, they've got so many nice little pieces. Whereas other players like Giannis and Embiid haven't got so much of that depth around them. And I just think in terms of valuable, if you took that player out of the team, if you took LeBron out of the team, what they still do as well. Obviously, not with LeBron at the heart of it, but like if you took Embiid out of that team is just gone. That team's
Well,
fallen.
if you're giving that point of view, then I'm saying Curry then, because if you take Curry out the Warriors,
Yeah, I think he's
Look at
definitely
last
as
season
well,
he was
yeah.
injured, and they did poor like last season.
Yeah, they had their whole team basically gone though. Yeah, both Steph
Clay.
and then Clay's gone again this season. But that's it's like he's playing so well at the moment as well. So I think it's obviously dictated like what your record is and things like that. But I just feel like at the moment, especially with Giannis and doing what he's doing, I think even though LeBron is I think the front runner, I think it should be more about like if you took that player out of the team, would they still be performing at the same level? I feel like if you took Embiid at that team at the moment, it's
So Embiid, your final vote.
at the moment I give it to Embiid.
That's what you saying.
I have to go LeBron. I'm sorry, but like even though I get what you're saying, as in like if you take LeBron out, they still get AD. They still got like so many good players that they could still make playoffs. But I feel like if if you take LeBron out of the equation for Lakers, do you think they're winning the chip this year? I don't
No,
think so.
definitely not. Definitely not.
And I feel like LeBron just brings so much to like the team. He brings like basketball IQ. He brings like leadership. He just like good for his team. And,
Yeah.
like,
Every game as well, like it's just non-stop, like that relentlessness. I think just takes him over like anyone else so fast.
I think he's on like. Oh, sorry. Yeah, you go.
Oh, I was saying, what about Doncic as well though? Because same with Doncic, you take him out of that team, he is basically he's like just a less athletic but a bit more skillful LeBron. Like
Yeah, but this year the Mavs aren't doing too well. They lost yesterday to they could have played the ball to Luka yesterday, but they chose to give it to Burke, and then he missed the free, and then Porzingis missed his free, and they lost the game, and Luka was raging. But well, I love Luka.
He
If
works
you
hard.
take him out of the team, obviously they're going to be so much worse. But for me, an MVP has to be for a team that's performing consistently, and the Mavs aren't really doing that at the moment. But hopefully they get to the playoffs. We'll have to wait and see. But as well, Porzingis, he's only just come back from injury, so I think you have to give him time to get back into his swing, and then them two will be one of the best duos.
I mean, I don't know. It's just I think if
We'll leave it open. We'll leave it open.
I feel like I was literally gonna say there's a stat. I think like LeBron has dropped at least like I think it's 20 points for like 1,000 games now or something. Like it's some mad stat.
more than 10 points.
10 points for a
Yeah, more
fast
than 10 points. Yeah, 10 points. Yeah, yeah. Like that's just I don't know. I feel like he's just so good.
Actually, that's a good thing. Who would you? I know this isn't part of the schedule segment, but like the GOAT conversation and everything. Would you say LeBron, Michael? It's basically between LeBron and Michael Jordan.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm saying MJ, you can't go 6 for 6 and not be the GOAT.
Yeah, yeah, he did it. He did a three-peat twice, even though. And if you think about it, in the middle, he retired, went to go play baseball, then came back.
Go play baseball, came back, and just won another few chips casually. That was a violation.
Yeah, nah, I can't. Yeah.
Okay, but what is your like criteria for being the GOAT though? Is it having the best accolades or the best stats or kind of being the best? I think it depends on what your criteria is, because if it's like in terms of influence and changing the game, I think it's easy Michael Jordan. Like the way he came in, like the NBA was failing before he came in, it was starting to falter, and then when he came in and changed the whole scene of things and brought it to like the brand it is now. Like I remember I was watching the video and someone made it such a good point. Like in the club, do you see someone wearing LeBrons or Kobe's or what? No, you see them wearing Jordans in the club. Like you don't see that from
If you look
anyone.
about the overall impact on the game of basketball, no one compares to Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
And if you look at the way he actually played as well, like he's top 1 or 2. So if you look at the whole like package, I think I've got to say Michael Jordan.
I don't, because if you look at the if you're talking maybe in terms of who's the best pound for pound player, in my opinion, I think it's LeBron because LeBron could guard all the
Every
positions
positions, yeah.
in his prime. If he wasn't stronger than you, he was faster than you, and if you were faster than him, then he was stronger than you.
So athletic as well.
Jordan, like when he's playing at the Heat, 2013, LeBron was a monster, shot 40% from three. And then we saw what happened. I think it was 2018, 2019 Cavs team with no, I don't think there's any other All Stars or maybe one in Kevin Love, but took that literally put that team on the back, took them
Yeah,
all the way to the finals. Obviously lost to that, got swept in the finals against KD, Steph and Clay, but I think that would be a similar situation for anyone. So I think in
yeah.
terms of maybe a pound for pound player, I don't know if there's many who's better than LeBron.
But look at how like aggressive teams were back in the day. Like the game, you got to think about how the game has changed as well. Like the rules and everything are so different to how it was back in Michael's days. So like, if you look at that Pistons team that
The bad boy Pistons.
Michael Jordan was always coming up against, they were reckless. They were just,
Yeah.
it was like a wrestling match or something. Like,
Even he was talking about the Air Jordan rules. Like if he came into the paint, you have to foul him, as in like
yeah,
don't
Knock him down.
shut off.
Yeah.
and he
It's like,
still overcame all that
mm,
to win 6 for 6. So I'm sticking with my original choice.
But even with the physicality though, this, in my opinion at least, I think this era is a lot more skillful
Yeah,
than
obviously he's more skillful, but
so
it's
it's like you got
about the
the
changing game.
yeah, I think it was different play styles, but the way the game is played now, I think there's not the need for physicality so much less just because it is so much more like it's now back in the day, if you're a center and you couldn't shoot, that was fine. You just get in the paint and do your thing. Now, if you can't shoot as a center, are you as valuable as you should be? So I don't. I think it's the way the game was played. It's just very
Hard to
very
compare them when they're in two different
yeah
eras.
yeah.
mm.
Um, okay, we'll move back to some current sort of topics. We'll go to like who do you lot think is the best like duos or trios in the NBA this season? So we're
Um,
talking about
like this season or just in
in
general.
general. So we were talking about Jason Tatum and Jalen Brown earlier. They got to be up there for me.
Mm.
But who else?
I think it's LeBron and AD.
LeBron AD. Yeah, that is.
LeBron and AD. I don't think watching AD, the way AD plays is just he's like a bit like Bam, but just on the offensive side, he's just so much more capable. The guy can shoot from. He's a little bit like a KD. He hasn't got the same kind of finesse and handles, and can drop 40 on your head every single night. But like AD is still, I think, a superstar on the offensive end. Then he's got such a nice mid-range game. He can shoot. Everyone saw that when he
The
hit that
finals
clutch
when he
three.
shot that.
Yeah. Hit that clutch three against the Nuggets as well.
Mm.
Like, the guy,
Love that spot though. Left hand sides, like just at the corner of the three. He loves it.
yeah. And he missed
Yeah, I
that
think
same shot as well earlier, and he missed that same shot earlier in the season, and then he came back and when he needed it most, he hit that against the Nuggets. So
I think it's unquestionable they're the best duo in the league at the moment.
yeah.
Some underrated ones,
On,
Luca and Porzingis when
I
they're
was
bad
gonna say that.
boys.
It's more just a one-man show for Luca over Porzingis because he's just so injury prone at the moment, and he just keeps getting injured over and over again. And I think until he gets over that hump, their potential is going to be limited.
Yeah. Um,
Um,
you have
I was gonna say, um, see the thing is then like it's right now they're not even playing, but I'm saying like when they were playing, Steph and Clay, Splash Brothers, they were so good. Like
Such a good back.
just
They're
like,
like,
I didn't want to say just everyone knows that like their talent, what they can do. Like
mm,
I saw the NBA commentators Shaq and all them. They were talking about how KD always ends up in these big threes. Like he was with the Splash Brothers before, and now he's with the Dribble Masters or whatever. Like he always just finds up in some good situation. But
mm.
I think it's fair though. Who wouldn't want to play with KD though? That's the thing about it. Because how good this guy is. And also actually KD and Kyrie I think is a duo you have to talk about. I don't know how that's gonna change now with Harden coming in. I don't know. Because it's obviously, in my opinion at least, I think it's KD's team. But after that, who's like the second man is it gonna be?
James,
Kyrie?
James definitely wants it to be his team though. Like you can
Yeah,
see the Rockets, but the Rockets is sort of a different situation though because they didn't have that sort of level of player around him. But
I just
Yeah,
realized we
around
haven't
him.
even spoken about Westbrook. Like this guy, he's not like I don't know. He just you think he should have gone to the Wizards? You think?
mm,
Mm,
the hard one. 'Cause if we're looking at duos, you got to mention Bradley Beal and Westbrook. But this season, Westbrook hasn't been as consistent as he needs to be. Like if you look at their records, they're doing very poor. Like for a team that probably could be making the playoffs. So
Because he can't stack up.
the thing is, he still has that because when it was at the Rockets, it was literally like they just Harden and Westbrook just took turns ISOing, and I think the thing is with Westbrook, he still wants to be the man on his team, but it's just he just I don't know if he necessarily has the talent to do that, and I think he's very very short on time now as well. He needs to I think become more of like a CP3 kind of like player in a sense that he's more of a mentor and he more provides a supporting cast rather than trying to be the main man to like take the team because he is a great leader, but he just I don't know in terms of talent
yeah,
and I just don't know if he can take the team to that level anymore.
as you're mentioning CP3, we got to look at CP3 and Devin Booker as well. Like Devin Booker took that Suns team to a 8-0 in the bubble last year, and obviously CB3 is a veteran, all star in his day. Them two, obviously, it's early in the season. If they can be consistent performers, I think at the end of the season we'll be looking at one of the best duos. So
You think they're
I,
making playoffs?
if Aiton turns up, I think they will. I think it's more dependent on Aiton than anything else because he's just kind of similar. I don't know who to similar to, but he needs to just take his game to another level because he has that potential to play as an all star, but we just need, I think, if he just steps up a bit, because I think at the moment he's averaging like 13 or something. But the guy can play defense, he can do everything else. I just think he needs to if he steps his game up just a bit, I think easily I think it's within their reach to be like a 5, maybe 6 seed team. I think yeah, it's more
enough. um, I guess we'll move on to all-time starting five. Very, very debatable one. So
Okay. So before we start, we have to have both Michael Jordan and LeBron in it. So
before we start, are we going positionless or are we going
that position is. I thought
yeah, make a team to win it all. I'd say make a team to win it
I'll
all.
make it easier to than like.
cool? For me, at the one, I'm having Steph because this guy, he revolutionized the game of basketball. Like no one was shooting. They'd be on the fast break. He'd have an open layup. He'd just shoot the three. Like, and in a team you're looking to win it all, I think you need to have like diversity. You need shooters. You need people who can go to paint, and no one can shoot the ball like Steph. So I'm
Yeah, I'll agree with that.
Magic. Like lots of people are gonna say Magic, but
Mm.
for me, obviously I didn't watch Magic as well, so I'm having Steph.
I think if it's positionless, I'm taking LeBron to run my point because he's so. One of the things that is I think amazing about LeBron is as a player who's passed first, and he doesn't necessarily look to get his own buckets, but get other people involved. I still find it ridiculous how many points he scores when he is a pass first player. So if it's positionless, I'm easily having run my.
To be honest, LeBron could play like he can play any position. So if he wants to, you could play him as point guard and he'll like.
Yeah, I'll put him in my point.
We'll leave it open for now because you have to obviously go through the rest of the team, and we'll see like what sort of other names are coming up. So we'll go into the two. Who's that?
I think
Jordan.
that yeah, or I'm putting Jordan there.
Yeah, questionable. I think we won't even debate it. We'll go
Yeah.
into the three.
Everyone knows.
Yeah, it's just Jordan.
We'll go into the three. For me, I'm putting LeBron at the three because that's his preferred position. I think
Mm.
it's like positionless. You want your best players playing in their preferred position. So
I'm putting KD at the three. I think I think very, very almost undebatable that he's one of the best scorers of all time. Guy 7 foot, plays like a guard. I don't think there's really there's many other players that can do what he does on the offensive end. So I think it would be good to have LeBron run my offense, and then have my bucket getters in Jordan and KD. I think that is going to be
Kobe as well. We haven't talked about Kobe.
The thing is, where would we play him? We can't play him like 1 and 2. Like, you can't really play 3. So
well, he could play the three, but it's the fact that he's so similar to Jordan. He's quite literally a carbon copy of him. So I think it's difficult to find where you put him. To be honest, in my opinion, it's kind of like slightly interchangeable. Obviously, I think Jordan would be your preferred choice, but if I had Kobe over Jordan, still would not be losing any sleep over that. But I'll still take Jordan at the 2 and KD at the 3.
I'll take Jordan at 2, LeBron at the 3, and then I don't even know.
Big names for the 4. There's so many big names.
There's so many.
Birds, we got so many big names we can put.
Like Larry Bird. Are we talking like, are we gonna put like someone like Scottie Pippen in, or would you leave him out?
No, as a small forward. No, I wouldn't need Pippen.
Not a 3, as a 4.
As a 4, I would have. For talking positionless, I'll probably put Hakeem.
Hakeem? Nah, Hakeem was at my center. I was gonna have Hakeem or Shaq.
Shaq at my center.
Yeah, I was gonna have Shaq at my center.
I was gonna have Shaq. Yeah, Shaq, Hakeem and Shaq. I was gonna put them at the 4 or 5. I couldn't like.
Kareem, but what about Kareem as well? Because I would want to have Kareem as my 5 as well, though.
The thing is, I feel like I don't like. It's like he's
the top point scorer of all time.
Yeah, I know that's the same. Somewhere. We have like so many scorers already, like Jordan, Steph.
But most of these players can defend as well. So
yeah.
I
feel you can't say that Hakeem, like, he's not the best defensive player like all time.
I think he definitely makes a case for it. I think there's other people like you can make an argument for Ben Wallace, or I don't know. Dennis Rodman was amazing.
Yeah, Dennis Rodman was so good.
He's probably the best rebounder.
Probably the best rebounder of all time. Yeah, I'll probably put Hakeem at the 4 just because of his defensively. I think it would be him or Tim Duncan at the 4.
I was about to say we haven't even mentioned Tim Duncan.
Yeah,
I would probably put Hakeem if it's positionless over Tim Duncan. Even though Tim Duncan is the greatest power forward of all time, I'll still put Hakeem just because defensive end, and then just also dream shake, things that he's given to give me stuff.
Shaq at 5.
Yeah, I was gonna put Shaq at the 5. Like,
so
his Lakers days.
Sorry to say for you, Josh, but the LeBron's going at the 3 overruled on that one. Asima said 3 as well. So
yeah. If it's I think to be honest, if it was pure, if you're doing pure positions, then yeah. But I think it's just I don't think if you're trying to win and just having LeBron's height as well and being him guarding Steph Curry, I think it would be a bit more difficult for Curry to score, having just someone that's so much bigger.
Yeah, Steph can just go around him.
That's the thing, though. Yeah, because
so like I think I saw this. He made some crazy shot the other day, as in like he just ran and then just pulled up straight away. Like defenders were like around him, he just pulled up and he made it.
I mean, he's a great 3 or 4 times for a reason.
So to list the top 5, we're going at the 1, Steph.
Yeah.
At the 2, MJ.
Yeah.
At the 3, LeBron. At the 4, Hakeem. And at the 5, Shaq.
Yeah. I'm happy with that. I was gonna put Shaq at the 4 and Hakeem at the 5, but it don't matter either way.
So
it's gonna.
All right, cool. We happy with that 5, Josh?
No.
but we're going with it anyway. All right, cool. To finish off the episode, I asked you to bring me a hot take. So, Asmo, you had one ready, right?
Yeah. I was gonna say, ever since LeBron hit his prime, I don't think that he's ever stopped performing at that level. As in, obviously, like he's not at his prime, but he's like the way he plays. It's just like he's in his prime all the time. Like he turns up when he needed to, clutch. Like he carries teams to finals, like Cavs. He wins. Like he does it all. Like anything you need him to do, he'll do it. Like what more
We
could you
see on
want?
Twitter this guy gets disrespected. Like they always say he gets the Mickey Mouse. Like last year he won the Mickey Mouse award, and he's
Yeah.
a fraud and just,
People call him La Bum or something like that.
the fraud.
That's the thing with that is with the ring, it was a lose-lose situation because if he didn't win, they would have said, "Oh, he's shit. How did he not win? It was the easiest ring to win." But then if he won it, he was gonna get
Yeah,
so
I send it that.
I think it's still I still think it counts as a ring, but
Do you disagree
that's
with
not so
what you
much of
said?
I don't think that's a hot take though, because he's essentially been in his prime since like year 2 or year 3. To be honest, the only real knock you can make against him was when they lost to the Mavs in 2011.
Oh yeah,
They
when
didn't.
he pissed off. Oh, he pissed off. Who did he piss
Uh,
off? Dirk. That was it. Dirk Nowitzki, and he.
Hard to
And
say
Dirk,
what his prime was though, because you got the Heat, like that is so many people say that's his prime, but then Cavs bringing back a 3-1 deficit against the
Warriors.
Warriors, and then now probably even now like the numbers he's putting up, it's he's MVP form, so it's hard to say. It's hard to say really.
it's just the way he's playing is ageless, but I think it would either be that season, I think it's 2018-19 when he got swept in the finals, or it'd be 2013 LeBron when he was like shooting 40% from three, and he was like at probably his prime in terms of athleticism as well.
Yeah, yeah.
Because the guy was just a monster. That's what I think the argument for GOAT as well in terms of criteria pound for pound. But yeah, I respect him.
You think he's going to be able to play with Bronny in the next
Yeah,
year?
he said he wants to.
The way he's going, I can't see how he wouldn't. He just hasn't slowed down. He hasn't lost a step at all. So I can't see how he wouldn't. To be fair.
Right. Josh, you have any hot takes for us?
I would say, okay, this would be a hot take. I think by come the end of playoffs, I think there's a fair chance that Paul George will be a top 5 player in the league. I think there's a very fair chance of that.
So
come the end of the season.
Come the end of the season, list your top. Actually, it's hard to say.
It's hard to say because like someone could get injured.
There's so many people though. Like LeBron is gonna be there, KD is gonna be there, AD is gonna be there. You think do you think he's gonna be better than Kawhi for the Clippers?
I don't know. I really don't know. But I feel like he has the way he's been playing so far this season, and he's been showing up at the moment. It's more, and this has always been the issue with Paul George because I love watching Paul George and the way he plays because the way he does it is just so fluid and it's so nice to watch him play. But he just doesn't ever show up in the playoffs, and I think that's always
playoff team name for a reason.
Always holding. That's the only thing that's going to haunt him. So I think if he performs in the playoff, I think he'll be a top 5 player in the league because he was in like 2-3 years ago. He was in like second or third for MVP. I think because he's like one of the best 2-way players in the league. Sorry, he averaged like 2 steals a couple of seasons ago, and can get big time shots and score. He can do everything. He just doesn't turn up in the playoffs. So if he does, he'll be top 5.
No, I'm not having that. There's so many players that are going to be better, in my opinion. Like you got
Giannis, yeah.
You got AD, LeBron.
Giannis is in the same situation of maybe falling into the same trap that he's in though, and not in terms of not showing up in the playoffs because
he got injured though, so it's hard.
And I feel like it's only with the Bucks, as in As soon as he moves away from a Bucks, goes away for like a team that's got
Chris
like
Middleton as well this season, underrated. He's been putting
yeah.
No, he was. I think it was last season. I think he almost or did have like a 40, 50, 90 season. So it's just. I think it's always. I think in terms of just winning a championship, barring obviously there are a couple of times with like Kawhi and the Raptors. You normally need two stars or two superstars to bring home a chip for you. So you had Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen. You had LeBron and AD, LeBron and Dwayne Wade. Obviously, had the
What
super
about
Warriors.
2016 Cavs, LeBron and Kyrie?
Yeah, LeBron and Kyrie as well. So you
You
have
say
the
Kyrie was
two
a
stars.
superstar back then.
Yeah, Kyrie's being a superstar, superstar level. Kyrie, definitely back then, definitely. But it's just he doesn't have. They either need to have like an amazing kind of deep team, which they don't really have right now,
who the
or
Bucks.
yeah, or they need to find a way to get another superstar.
Drew Holiday, if he starts playing well, him and Chris Middleton could be star level, not superstar, but they could be star level. And I don't think they could possibly get to the. I don't know if the
Oh,
Nets
just
don't
looking.
perform, they could get to the NBA Finals, but they're definitely not going to win the whole thing, in my opinion.
I wouldn't take them over the Nets or maybe even the Celtics to make it to the finals though.
It,
I
dep-
don't. I
it
don't.
depends
I think
what level Giannis can reach. In my
it's more about whether he can shoot the ball. To be fair, if he can't shoot on the night, then they're in trouble because he can do everything else. He just needs to be able to shoot because is how good he is in terms of drawing double teams, and he can normally find the right pass. But if he just can't shoot and spread the floor, they're in trouble. So we'll have to see.
So, but you still think he's going to be top? I don't think he's going to be top 5. I'll say top 10, but not top 5.
George, I think he has the. I think he has the potential to be there. I think including the playoffs as well. If Giannis kind of struggles again, then I think that it will. I think Paul George has a chance, but
it's
we'll
a
have to. We'll
game
have
of
to.
it's a game of waiting and opinion, so we'll have to wait and see. Quickly before we end it, last thoughts: who's winning the NBA this season? Asamoah.
Uh, I think Lakers are doing a repeat.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Josh.
Yeah, I think Lakers as well. I think in terms of, I definitely could go to to the Nets. Sorry, but they just I think they'll have chemistry issues with Harden and Kyrie, and I think that will just make it a lot more difficult for them to win in terms of chemistry. I think the Lakers will have it all. So yeah, I'm going the Lakers
Fair
as
enough.
well.
Yeah, but what I can say about the league this year is it's much more competitive. Like I feel like this league is better because like there's so many like teams that have the possibility of winning a chip this year, like make the playoffs, can make the finals. I feel like it's better than like previous years where it's been one team that's just dominated the NBA and yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. I think it's hard to disagree with you. The Lakers, their starting five probably top, if not second, and then their bench, the players that are coming off the bench, I think it's too deep to like compare it to any others. So I think it's hard to turn them down at the moment. But I guess we'll have to wait and see. But for now, we'll call that a day for the episode. And if you guys are still watching, make sure to come back next week. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.